You suck, your business sucks, and you'll never be successful. How many people paid you $5,000? You ever lied to anybody? Okay, real quick. Anything you see in here? It's over, bro. What's your belief system? You're married, yes, to a woman, or you let your wife wear pants? When I ask you for something and you don't give it to me, are you knowing that you're lying to me?
Lying?
You cannot move being this comfortable. But you be in the crib and your drawers just like, hey, yo. My job is to make you fail. My job is to make you quit. My job is to make you cry. But if you survive it, success is on the other side. What's something that your friends don't know about you that could possibly crash the company?
Wow, that's a great question.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Man, I'm happy to be here, man.
Absolutely. Super excited.
You're an entrepreneur?
I am for the last 22 years.
Doing what?
Real estate. I've been a realtor for the last 22 years.
It works out pretty good? Makes good money?
It's fantastic. It changed my life, man. Before that, I was working in hotels and doing blue collar work, I was a doorman at a 5-star hotel. So, when I got into real estate, it was, I was thinking when I was, at the hotel, it was only so many $5 tips.
Yeah.
I got to do something else. So got into real estate and it totally changed my life. Been able to travel all over the world and send my kids to private school and do all kinds of really cool stuff.
You just sell or do you invest as well or what?
Both.
Both? Okay. So you
just signed a lease with a tenant last week one day.
Congrats. How many rentals you got?
I just got a few, 3.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah, just really getting heavy into it. My kids are older now, but while they were younger, I was a little apprehensive about really exposing myself and taking on some, exposing myself to some things financially, that would turn our lives upside down when they were going to school, going to private school, doing all that stuff. I didn't want to disrupt that. So, but now they're 29 and 25. And so in the last few years, I've gotten a lot more active in terms of my investing.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What are you struggling with right now?
I think I struggle with imposter syndrome. I think that's what I struggle with. A lot of people may see me. I'm board president for a nonprofit. I serve on the equalization board back at home, equalization board for the county, which reviews people's taxes and stuff like that when they have a debate. And so I think for me personally, that's probably what I struggle with the most.
How is it affecting your business life?
I think I'm a little slow to pull the trigger because I could possibly do some things that would bring more success in my life, but I'm a little apprehensive. I think I'm still carrying over those thoughts from, when my sons were in school and when they were younger and we're playing Pop Warner football and AAU basketball, and we were doing all of that. I didn't want to disrupt, and so I think I'm still a little slow to the trigger now, and so I think that's what's happening with me.
Why do you want to be more successful, though? I mean, it seems like it's cool. You could travel the world. And
I want to be more successful just so I can help more people. Me and my wife talk about it all the time. If I had more money, our number one argument would be how much money I'm giving away. My wife already knows that about me. We've been married almost 30 years now, so I'm a generous guy. Yeah. And so that's the only reason I want to have more money so I can help more people and do more things with it.
Is that the only reason?
It really is, because the quality of life that I have set up for myself now, I pretty much do whatever I want in terms of, whether it be ACC basketball, Final Four, games, whatever I want to do, cruises.
If you made more money, you would just give it all away? You want to help people?
No, I would do things. I would do the same thing. I would just do it differently.
You want to be lit more?
I would be on a private jet, not JetBlue.
Right.
But I would not about helping. The same thing. I would just do it differently, so it'll be a different experience.
Right. It's not about helping people. It's about you being on a private plane and being more lit.
No.
A little bit.
I'm the least lit dude. Dude. No, I don't even post the places we go. Honestly,
no, I mean, it doesn't have to be about showing. Not to be about showing people, but I just want to start this conversation with honesty. You want to do more things. I don't know. You might have a nice car, but there's a nicer one out there.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a nicer one. I would love to have it.
Yeah, so I'm saying you want to make more money so you can live a better life.
But but I also know that like over the years, I've been very strategic about putting myself out there in terms of business, because I have not wanted to be the realtor or the investor working 80, 100-hour weeks. You know what I mean? I want to be able to go and come home and do my thing. So that's
what I'm saying. You don't want to, you want to have time freedom.
Absolutely.
You want to maybe travel more or better places.
Yes.
Drive better cars.
Definitely.
Maybe a bigger house. I don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like that.
So, bro, I just wanted to start this conversation with honesty, that you want to make more money so you can live a better life is not necessarily to help people. I think you'll help people in the process, but that's not the reason.
Yeah. I'll go with that. I want to be lit.
Give him a round of applause. Y'all gonna clap? All right, now we got this conversation. We have a real honest conversation. Okay. What is the next step to make more money? Is it the podcast?
That's one of the steps that we're going to do. Continue to do the real estate investing, and I would really like to. I've gotten into podcasts in the last couple of years, and so I really like. Once again, I believe we can help a lot of people, and that's exactly why I want to do the podcast.
Here we go, man.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm about, man. Helping folks.
I know, but you want to make money in the process of helping people.
Well, you know what? I'll say this.
It's all about the money with you.
No. my son and my wife are constantly at me because I do so much for free. And so they're like, yo, you got to start getting paid for this stuff you're doing. And so now I am like, yeah, I put a lot of time into it. I could get paid for, doing what I do. So, but they've been on me about it. And so now I'm at the place where I'm like, I can charge people $5,000.
That's what I'm saying, baby.
I can't imagine charging nobody $5,000.
Yeah.
Helping. I've set so many people businesses up and all that stuff. I can't imagine. I've never charged people for that. And so that is something that I need to start doing, but I haven't.
Yeah. Okay. So what is the plan to get to the next level financially, career-wise, branding-wise? What's the plan?
Well, the plan, 2 parts. The podcast, we're going to the podcast summit.
Okay.
That's
what's up. Give me a round of applause for that.
That's the first
That's
thing.
The podcast summit.
So just really learning the podcast business. So, with my brother and my best friends, we've been really trying to focus in on the business. We started our pod. We up to episode like 26, I think we are.
Nice.
And we got 200 subscribers this week. So it's been slow. It's been organic, but we're making progress. And so
And how many people on the podcast?
It's 5 of us. Me, my brother, my 3 best friends. We've been friends for over 40 years.
Who's the best communicator? Who's the best one on the podcast? Like, who's the star?
Probably Nuevo Black over there in the red hat.
You the one? Gotcha. It was actually a trick question. Okay. And both of y'all passed.
So it's basically about 5 friends. We've been friends for over 40 years. And between us, we have 12 sons. And all of our sons have grown up to be really successful. I wouldn't say really successful, but they're very successful. I always like to say from 6-figure earners at LinkedIn to my youngest son, who's a professional Call of Duty player. And so what we talk about on the podcast is all the things we went through while we were raising them. We realized we had a great network as we were raising our sons. And so we would always get on the phone when John's son might have been going through heartbreak, or my son might have been going through academic issues at school, social media, all of that stuff. That's what we talk about.
Who cares?
Who cares? Well, the idea is if you're having some issues with your young one and you're trying to decide what's going on with this youth sports coach, this Pop Warner coach, this AAU coach, how should I handle putting him on another team? How should I evaluate coaches? You can hear what we talked about when our sons had a bad coach and what we did and how we handled it. And so the idea being is as you're raising your children, when you encounter these issues, you can say, hey, let's see what the B2M crew had to say about that. Maybe I can get some ideas. It's not, I always like to say, it's not a how-to podcast. It's just a how we did it podcast.
Yeah, I know, but who cares about how y'all did it? I mean.
Well, They don't until they hear good information.
But how do you get them to hear the good information if nobody cares about that?
It's over time. You just build like anything else. You got to build it from the ground up. And so,
how long is it going to take?
How long will it take? Probably 10 years, to be honest.
10 years. So, 10 years?
If you ask me,
if I ask you,
it's going to take as long as we put money behind marketing.
As long as you put money behind marketing. How long are you thinking? 10 years?
No, I don't think 10 years. Well, it just all depends on what the question is, because some people, as soon as we tell them something, they can make the changes in their life, and it happened in 3 months. It could, just based on the information.
But your expectation is that this is going to take 10 years to be
in order
successful.
for the podcast to make millions, I think it may take that long.
10 years. No?
Nah, not at all.
Have y'all had a team?
You know what?
Have y'all had a team meeting?
Let me say this.
That
Let me
takes
say this.
5 years.
I'm probably saying that wrong. What I'm saying is I'm willing to put 10 years in. So it may take 3 to 5 years, but 10 years is the level of my commitment.
Who's the leader of the podcast? Who's the CEO?
Oh, man.
He's the CEO? Talik?
He didn't shoot.
The conversation we had yesterday shows he's not a qualified CEO. We had a conversation yesterday.
It was probably my idea. And really, so
I'm the motivator.
we all live in different areas. I live in Charlottesville, Virginia. Corey's in Maryland. John's in Northern Virginia. Talik's in Atlanta. Our buddy James is in Raleigh. There was a time when we would just all be on phone calls for like an hour in the morning, every morning, just talking about what happened as they were commuting or whatever. And so we just realized, this information we have, as I would talk to other kids, especially through coaching. I've been a coach. John's been a coach. Corey's been a coach. And you had these interactions with a lot of players and their parents, and the information we've been able to help them with has been life-changing. Seeing kids go off to college.
Who's in charge?
Who's in charge? I'm in charge.
Are you?
Yeah.
Is he in charge?
He's in charge.
Is he in charge of the whole podcast? He doesn't think you're in charge. He doesn't think you're in charge.
Hey, I had the same question early on.
Who's in charge? Who's in charge?
Right now, we're at a place where the business side of the podcast is very important for us to decide how we move forward on the business side. So right now, I wouldn't say anyone is in charge. It's a collective management of what's going on. But if we're going to grow and we're going to do what we say we want to do, then it's important for us to establish formally what the structure is.
Exactly. Somebody's going to be hard. I think he appointed himself the leader.
I'll say this.
Do we need to have a vote?
I'll
So he's cool with it. He's not. Okay. He's not okay with you being in charge, bro.
I think we've been friends for so long. I think what I'm thinking and what I'm anticipating is that over time, someone will rise to that position. And
it doesn't work that way.
It doesn't?
It doesn't work like that. Name a successful business where there's a collective leadership group where everybody just gets to put their input in.
Well, I heard you interview Dan Cathy, and he talked about passing the baton and making sure you didn't, let it go before someone was pulling.
For sure.
And so he talked about, as a family, we're all owners, but only certain people are a part of leadership.
Yes.
And so when I heard that, that's what made me think about, we're all owners, but we'll see who rises to the level of leadership.
No, it doesn't work that way.
That was my thought.
Yeah, but so Truett Cathy starts Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
He's in charge, yes?
Absolutely.
Family owns it, but he's in charge. He decides who's in charge next. That is the leader. So he picks Dan as his son. Son, you are in charge now. Still, the whole family owns it, but none of those people are in charge. They don't even come to work. So it's not like, let's see who's going to be. There always has to be somebody that's in charge, or this podcast will ruin your friendship.
Okay. But I'm thinking he picked Dan based on what he saw.
Yes, but he still had to pick someone.
But he still did the pick.
It wasn't like we all just hear and Dan jumps up one day, hey, Dad, I'll take it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It doesn't work that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you guys are, at least in that scenario, they started with somebody that's in charge that can appoint someone. You can't just have a bunch of gestures in a kingdom and one of us say we're going to do it.
So that's the first thing we need to do when we leave
That's
here.
for sure.
We will decide who's in charge.
But I think you made the decision already.
But I'm open to changing my mind.
But for right now, in this moment, you are in charge, which I like it. That is good. Give him a round of applause for taking initiative. Okay, I'm in charge. I'm just curious to know, what's your name?
John.
How John is going to take your authority. Because I feel like John might want to be in charge.
Bro, John blow with the wind. He just go with wherever we go.
So he's not a good leader?
Not in this situation. He's a great leader.
Are you not
in
a
other
good leader in this
aspects.
situation, John?
I asked the same question. I said, whose baby is this?
Yeah.
Early on.
That's a sign of leadership.
And what answer did you get?
I really didn't get it. It was some sort of between you and me.
But by virtue of asking the question, we understood it won't you. So now we're gonna figure out who it's
John,
gonna be.
you're
Right, exactly.
Okay. So you don't wanna be a leader.
Got to decide.
you like to be considered though. Yes.
My comment is that question is an appropriate question based on the evolution of the podcast and where it is, which I consider to be very much in infancy stages, and that we made some progress in its infancy.
Yeah.
And again, formalizing the business component, that's one conference, that's one business meeting. What's the business structure?
Yeah.
Who's this position? Who's that position? We just have not in our stage and in the progress of where we are, which we focus initially on, let's develop some content and get good at it, right? In terms of us turning the table to financial investment, to do this, to do marketing, to set up a business structure.
Did y'all all put money
to complete
together?
The business plan.
Yeah.
To do the business plan, right? We just haven't got there yet.
Got it.
And it's going to be an easy conversation. And the only thing I disagree with is that if we don't do it, it'll ruin the friendship. That's not going to happen.
Maybe.
If it's not
Possibly.
gonna
Do you know?
it's possible.
I think it was some sort of stat like 80 or 90% of all people that go to court were once friends.
Absolutely.
There's got to be some sort of validity to that. Especially.
With an operation agreement and all of that.
Yeah, 100%.
But
Look, I was actually so they got a podcast, it's for them, and I was telling them as the fame and notoriety and the money comes, if I had to bet some money, just if I had to bet, I would bet one of them are going to go AWOL. One of them are going to get arrogant. One of them, it's going to change them. And you guys have been friends for a long time, but maybe you haven't been friends where
$10 million on the table.
it's $10 million on the table, or the audience is saying, yo, this is the best one on the show. Like if that I only listen for this one person, then somebody starts to feel away.
You know, one of the things I watched.
And real quick, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you finish. Part of this is me just kind of giving some advice. The other part is me being messy. So
Oh, that's good.
For content.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
for content's sake.
oh, he got y'all to go in on each other though. I'm just letting you know.
But this is gonna be good.
He got y'all to turn on each other.
Isn't this good though?
Yeah, it
Before it happens in the world,
But I'm
right?
saying, like, he got y'all to go in on each other like in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We did that on the phone yesterday. The
crowd-
Without Dave.
Listen, the crowd and the audience. I'm just, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I watched Unsung, all the episodes.
Yeah, for sure.
And I have watched over the years all the different artists come on. And to me, it's been the exact same thing that has destroyed every group. It's been drugs and alcohol, money and ego. That's what's dissolved every single group. If I watch that show and I see something outside of those, I will be shocked. It'll be the first time I see something outside of those 4 or 5 examples. So, that's something we have talked about, and I think we can prevent that.
You think this group is above the stats?
There's outliers all the time.
For sure.
Yeah. So
There's
it
a
can't be.
possibility.
Let
I
me
think
say
what's
this.
good
Let me
in this
say this.
conversation, though, is that we bring awareness to it, though.
Yeah.
That there is a possibility. And I think we just have to make the commitment that we don't let things come between us.
I agree. And I think, honestly, there would be no podcast before there was no friendship. That's what I think.
I interviewed a young lady, and she said she would never, ever do business with her friends.
I can believe
because she believes in, it was crazy. We were going back and forth. It was a strong disagreement where she said every single time, she was like, I don't do business with my friends because I want to keep the friendship. Once you add another element to this friendship, there's another opportunity for wedges to be placed between us.
we'll be ready for that.
How do you prepare? We don't know who's in charge.
Conversation, just communication, I believe. It's just like a marriage, communication. I've been married almost 30 years.
Who's in charge?
That's a funny question. She's in charge.
Right
Because
answer.
I allow her
That was
to
the
be.
right. I like it. Which means you're really in charge. Because I allow her to be. I like that. That was good. That was good. So what? Okay. So let's build this thing out. Okay. Let's just say you're in charge.
Yes.
What will be your first order of business?
Assigning responsibilities and duties to each and every one within the group, and putting some measures of accountability in place. So that would be the first thing I would do.
Got you. That's good. I think you should be in charge, guys. I really. Yeah. I mean, you got to.
It just all depends on what success looks like to you. You know, I, when my sons were coming up and I coached AAU basketball and football, and you ask kids what they want to be, they invariably will always say professional basketball player, football player. So I told my sons, hey, you hear the dream killing adults tell them to get plan B. Yeah. So I always told my kids, hey, I got your plan B. You come up with plan A, right? And so I remember telling my son one day, I said, listen, it's all about what success looks like. I said, if you were a high school senior and you were thinking of, and somebody said, what do you want to do? And you said, I want to be a first grade teacher. Yeah. Everyone would applaud that and say, good job. That's admirable. Yeah. First grade teacher probably makes 60, maybe 70,000. I don't know. And so I told my son, when he said he wanted to be a professional gamer, I said, all you got to do is make what a first grade teacher make, and you're successful. And if you can stack on top of that, it's a bonus. Yeah. So that was always my approach to, what does success look like? If you can take care of yourself, I told my sons when they were in the house, I had requirements for them to be able to leave. You can't, I'm not one of those parents to say, hey, you got to go. You got to get out of here. My requirements were your profession has to buy your house. Mm-hmm. I don't want you renting from somebody. I'm a realtor. Your profession has to buy your house. You got to be debt free. And I want you to have a 750 credit score. So when my oldest son left the house, all those measures were in place. And so it allowed him to have a foundation where he can now build on and take, where, it's people, as a realtor, I see people 50, 60 years old buying a house for the first time. He's 27 years old, debt free, 800 credit score, and his profession bought his house.
I think you would be a good leader.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
What's something that your friends don't know about you that could possibly crash the company?
Wow. That's a great question. I have no idea. They are aware of, I always like to say they're aware of my personal life, my private life, and my secret life. So I don't know what they wouldn't know.
You got a secret life?
We all do. Yeah.
I'm married. I ain't got no secret life.
You got one.
Never admitted.
It was just before Dre. It was just before Dre. That's all.
How long you been married?
29 years, be 30
Wow.
soon. Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Mm-hmm. But what about, you as a leader, what's something that would unqualify you?
Attention to detail. I'm really bad at that. Attention to detail. The details. I'm a big picture guy. Yeah. I'm really bad at the details. My wife has been great, handling my life's details. Yeah. And so I'm really bad at the details. That could crash the company because it only takes one little thing to go bad, and all of a sudden, it's not good. So you never know what that one thing could be. So that's my approach. So the details, and they got to watch me for that.
Yeah. He's the leader, guys. You got my vote, man. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it, man. My pleasure.
Give him a
Thank
clap. All right. You just watched this whole episode. If you like this episode, watch this one right here. Click right here. You're going to like this one if you like the one you just watched. Check it out.